In a world where sales talk is watered down, generalized, and frankly boring, we're breaking down the doors and bringing back the hustle and flow to sales, where mindset isn't just a word, it's an art, it's a way of life. We're deep diving into the mindset of sales strategies, techniques, and approaches, giving you the insight and motivation to close more deals more often. Whether you're a business owner, seasoned veteran, or a rookie just getting your feet wet in sales, this podcast is for you. We are industry leaders and sales disruptors. Join us as we unlock the secrets of a successful sales mindset. Get ready to take notes and crush your goals, because here, every conversation is a masterclass. Welcome to the Sales Mindset Podcast. And to get even more in-depth information, please visit www.thesalesmindcoach.com. Enjoy the podcast and keep on selling.
Welcome, welcome.
Hello, everybody.
Closer's Mindset.
Episode 9 of 900. So dumb. I don't care. I just don't.
So episode 10 is going to be what? 10 of 1,000.
10 of 1,000.
Hey, well, welcome. Today's podcast of the Closer's Mindset. Again, thank you for joining us here today. We're going to talk a little bit today about old school versus new school. And you got an old cat here and you got a new cat here. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
That's right.
We're going to have a lot of talks about what's the best approach, what's the best way, because you have all this wonderful technology now. And I come from pitch books, dude. I do. I've used the iPads. I was in the transition, but I started off with PitchBooks for the first, I would say, 10 to 12 years of my life. And then I transitioned with companies over to iPads, as what they use, and laptops, and have used a mix of those, mostly computerized from there on out. I still would use some of my PitchBooks because I believe in the PitchBook. I believe in using both. I think both are necessary. In my opinion, some disagree. Some say scrap the books, go all digital.
See, I've never even seen a pitch book, to be honest with you. I've never even seen one. We had iPads at my last place for the presentation.
So that's all that is. That presentation that you did, a little, your little swipe your presentation. All that was is an actual picture book, and it went through each page. The purpose of a presentation or pitch book is to keep the sales rep in line, keep the customer in line going through the presentation, to be able to give them visuals and pictures, because so many reps, as we said in the last episode, don't show pictures.
Right.
So at least in a presentation, they saw some of the pictures, right?
Right.
And they were able to address some of it because they didn't have a separate picture book, wherever the case may be.
You
what are
want
your
super
thoughts on
new school?
Yeah.
Super new school.
Talk to me.
This is how I flow. Is when I sit down and I know that, especially if they're going to meet or have met with other guys, I'll say, let me skip the whole sales presentation. And they go, oh, thank you. And I don't show them anything in a organized fashion of like flipping through pages or flipping through PowerPoint. I still know the pictures I want to hit up.
I love it. My buddy used to do it. He would call it the no pitch sale. Because he'd go in and be like, yeah, I'm not going to, you know what, I know you've had it, I'm not going to do it. And then people would just go, thank God. And he'd still do it. And you still do it.
You're still going through the information, but you disarm them. Because too many times you pull up even in my last place, you pull up the iPad, and even though you have an iPad, people go, oh, I don't need that whole insurance salesman thing. I got that like 5 times. And I'm like, ugh, yeah, I mean, not everyone said that, but they're thinking it to some degree. So it's all about presentation, how you bring that up. So even when I would bring it up, I'd say, hey, listen, I'm going to skip the whole sales thing. How does that sound? They go, oh, that's perfect. So anyway, and you're right to the screen or right to the material. And you just, for me, I say I'm going to hit the high level things that are the reason people go with us, or for these reasons. Let me walk you through that. And I know what pictures I got to bring up on my computer, but especially when you get the digital stuff in the way, it literally separates you. You got a computer separating you from someone else, or an iPad, depending on how you position that, it's kind of separating you from
it is. It's a block. It also is very, very shady. Like it's almost as if you're hiding something every time, because you have that device pushed up against you.
Right.
And I'm going to put all my numbers in here and all my commission and all this and all that. And now you're presenting that, right? And you're like, whoa. Rather, like I would take it, is I want a full transparency with the customers, because I already price condition. They should know where. If they don't know where their cost is at, I didn't do my job, right?
Right.
So I would always lay it down so they could see it, or I would literally, prior to COVID, go walk next to them and say, look, everything's pre-populated. I have no control over costing. That's what customers love us. He says, I'm not saying we're the highest, we're not the lowest, but we'll give you a fair cost, and you know exactly what it is. You'll get to build it with me. There's no fun and games. There's no, thing. Everything is sent right here from our company directly to here. That's why it's on this system, pre-populated. I can't change it.
Yep.
And they love it.
Yeah.
And they feel in control, and they feel like you're being open and not hiding. And like I'm holding this notebook pad over top of my right now, like you're hiding something, right? You're not hiding anything.
Right. I mean, I get people, especially for showing pictures. Let's say I work on a computer now. I prefer the iPad, but this is what we do, computers. Okay?
So you're on a laptop.
A laptop.
Okay.
Yeah. So when I'm showing a picture, naturally, when I have to turn it around a little bit to do some work, they turn with it because they want to keep looking. We're a little bit off topic here, old school, new school, but that's just something
that's new school.
That's part of like what you have to think about is, okay, now how do I not fully turn this so that they feel like I'm trying to hide something from them? That thought crosses your head. But at the same time, like, I got some work to do, So, and usually if you kind of just like lean into them a little bit and start typing away, they kind of feel like, oh, that lean.
If you had that picture book that we were talking about,
you could give it to them.
You could give that to them from the last episode. See, old school, baby.
That is old school.
I'll tell you, if you've been in this game for a while, all right, and you're old school and use the pitch book, you know how to read upside down. No, not many people do. I can read upside down all day long. I can read a book upside down because I had to every single day read the entire pitch upside down.
Yep.
And I just got really, really good at it. I could read sentences off to the customer and have them in control looking at everything as I flip through there.
If you're on, we talked about it last episode about pictures not being the PowerPoint, but let's just say you're still new and you're getting your, feet under you and you don't know the whole you should know the whole presentation. I mean, bottom line, like, that's not an excuse. I'm new. I don't know. But don't, like we said, don't be reading it. I would always, if I'm on a PowerPoint or anything like that, you reference it. This slide here is talking about our Better Business Bureau rating,
Well, let me take you back real quick. When you're brand new, that's what you did?
Way back.
Way back. Because I would challenge you on that. When you're brand new, you probably went through page by page and read each one because you were nervous, still learning, even though you practiced your pitch. And that's why those presentations, to give you that guide. You said it earlier, to give you that guide before you went in and you started separating out pages on it. But that's the whole purpose, so you get more comfortable.
So the steps that your company has put into place.
Yes.
Because even on a lot of those, there would be an easy closing question right there. About installation. Is this the installation method for you? Is this what you're looking for out of a company with installation? Yes? Okay, next slide. So yeah, it teaches you not to go to the next slide until you answer that question, and so on and so forth.
Except you got to ask them why.
Why? Yeah. But anyway, I mean, I think old school and new school is there's more to it than you're on a laptop or paper, but I think that's a basic way to talk about it, just to get us into the conversation.
Some of it in pitching. I mean, when I grew up in this business,
changed, right?
A lot.
Yeah.
We did a hard sell, okay? It has transitioned now into a much softer consultative sell. We have internet and information now, so people are powered with much more information ahead of time than before. Or they think they know a lot more, right? And we have that happen too.
Yeah.
But I also really feel like the old school and new school is there used to be like when closing, right? They're the old school, hard, aggressive closing. And I can do that. I was taught it. I've trained it. We did the aggressive contract close and all this different stuff. We had 6 principal closes. I was talking to another rep who's been in the business for a long time. He didn't remember them, but we had 6 principal closes. We had first the aggressive contract close. We would literally, I'd take the contract and say, I'm holding a pen up to you right now. Nobody can see this. And I'd hold the pen up and say, we'll do a great job for you. And set it down on the contract right in front of you. Contract all filled out. All you got to sign it. Yep. It was intentional. We intentionally wanted you to say, oh, I got to think about it. All right. Or you may say yes. Who knows? If I did my job right, maybe you'll say yes. Right. I don't know. Yep. But when you did that, then we go to a pro and con close. After the pro and con close, so aggressive contract, pro and con. Let me see if I can get all these 6 principles. I had the paper back home. We did the Ben Franklin was pro and con.
Yep.
And we'd actually use the Ben Franklin. You remember Ben Franklin? He was a smart, wise man, one of the founders of America. When he was ever making a decision, brilliant man. All right, introduce the telephone, introduce this, that, and the other. And one of the things that he really, really honed in on is the ability to make a decision. And how he did that is he weighed the options out. And he weighed them by putting pros and cons. And if the pros weighed out the cons, it was an easy decision. It was a no-brainer, right? So what I'm going to do and leave with you here is I'm going to do a pro and con, leave with this information. That way you have good information, solid information for when you do make a decision. And then I'm going to go over it because I'm selling postponement like, yes, you win, done.
Right.
And then I go through and we go for the juggler again. All right. And then if the pro and con got it, no, then we didn't. Then we went into a, what was it?
Is this number 3?
Number 3. Number 3 would have been I want to say the cost of doing business. It was like where you take and break out each part of the product. All right. I forget the name of that one, breaking that one down. And then we had a budget close we would do. All right. We would actually ask your budget and go through your budget step by step by step by step.
For the project?
For the project.
Or not for their personal finances?
Their personal finances we went through.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. There's one other I can't think of it right now, and then you had your initial visit. That was number 6. Your IVD, we call it initial visit discount. They had a nice little 10% coupon and everything. I still got it at home. It's crazy. It was that, but that's how we taught. That's the way we did. We held that back then. We held that back.
Yeah.
And then the second company I started working for, I was in the bathroom business. And in that company, we actually started introducing it ahead of time. All right. So we would take it and go, hey, just let you know right up front, you have an opportunity to save extra money if you decide to move forward. So they know ahead of time, so they're not taking it back at the end. And lots of times they would move forward. And that's when consultative selling really started for us.
Yeah.
And then we started getting the fact that we would close the doors before we got to the end. All right. And then we were closing each door there to the point to where we had them set up so they were so excited to buy, and we conditioned them to the price, to the product, to the value of everything, that 50% of the time we knew when we were getting to that end that we had them or didn't have them.
Yeah.
Because if you close every door there, you're going to know. And if you go with the right attitude of helping them, there's no problem at all.
Yeah. I think that I was trained that way as well. I think I was trained very old school, by the way. I had old school trainer.
Yes, I do.
Yeah,
I agree. Everything I hear from you is a lot of old school stuff.
Yeah.
I was with a rep today, and the biggest issue this rep had was building rapport.
Really?
So it's not trained a lot. Now today it's like go in business, boom, 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 get it done. I can't do that. I can't be in a home less than 2.5 hours. I don't care if I'm selling a small little one product thing or a huge project that's going to take forever. Because I got to get to know the person. They need to know who I am, who they're buying from, and why. Period.
I had that today. It was a gentleman from another country, and I was explaining to the guy who rode along with me. I said, listen, a lot of times, and they look at you as a salesman because I'm the white guy coming in, you know what I mean? Not to go into too much into the race and all that. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with, are you relatable or not? So a lot of times I could tell he saw me as a salesman. I said, would you like to sit at the table, or would you? And he goes, let's just go look at it with us. And so we're up there, and I'm trying to say, hey, whose room is this? Yeah. So anyway, what are you going to do here? And by the end of it, I had him laughing. He's telling jokes. He said a couple things. He said like a kind of like a wise crack about, yeah, well, my wife isn't here to make the decision, so it's not going to happen today, kind of thing. And we were talking about, oh yeah, so she's the boss, and he goes, well, I'm the head of the household, she's the neck. So whatever way the neck turns is where that goes. And he had a couple things like that. So by the end of the conversation, I'm saying like, man, you should write a book of Proverbs. And he's like, oh, yeah, my buddies call me. They think I'm pretty witty. So, breaking down that rapport building, it's not just first phase entry. It's throughout the whole
time
thing.
The reason why this guy bought today, and thank God I was there with the rep, is rapport building. Yeah. We spent time talking with him about what he likes and all this different stuff. This guy was in-home sales back in the 60s. Really? I got a picture of him with his sample case. We're going to have him on the show. I'm going to bring him on. It was great because afterwards he's like, yeah, I checked off all the boxes. You did your entry and your warm up. You checked that off. He says, you built rapport with me, so I liked you. You checked that off. He said, and then you went up and did your needs inspection. And he's like, yeah, we found out that, you were the one, training this person here. And he was just telling me all kinds of stuff. It was great.
That's cool.
And then afterwards, he's like, yeah, I was a trainer. I knew what you did here, how you did it. And I just want to hear what they did back then.
Yeah.
Because I grew up with guys that were selling back then, but I never really got to talk to them. I was with the younger crowds that were learning from that, but I grew up in this back in the 90s. So it was like when the last of the 10 men were, done. Right. And it was going into vinyl and everything else. The aluminum siding salespeople were gone. No, that's what it was. That's why they
Yeah.
called them Tin Men.
Yeah.
Great movie, by the way.
I still have yet to see it. Keep getting told to watch it. I gotta watch it.
Dude, they
Yep.
interviewed Richard Dreyfuss back in the day. It's all about home improvement sales back in Baltimore where I started.
Yeah, I gotta see it.
Woo! Yeah. Oh, man. Good old days. And again, going back to old school. Gosh, that was old school back then. Running appointments, get them on a fax machine every morning. We did have fax machines at least.
Yeah.
And we just go out and run them. Before that, though, we would have to come into the office every day and get it. So in the very beginning, we came to the office, and then a couple of years later, fax machines because of where we started driving and going distances. But back in the day, we would come in the office 8 o'clock in the morning. Old school, baby. 8 to 9, had a meeting every day from 8 to 9. From 9 to 10, you did challenge business, get your day set up because you may have had 3 leads, but you usually had maybe 1 or 2 leads, and you had to set up the rest of your day. What are you going to do in between those times?
Right, yeah.
And they taught a lot of discipline then. I think that's missing in today's sales arena. A lot of these companies are doing these great, wonderful training programs, and they're missing out on the fundamentals of this business. They're missing out on the mindset of this business. They're missing out on that's what you need to train for the first week is prep that representative to know what this business is going to be like. And that's what some of the old school things. In my first company, and the reason why I'm successful today is we had these disciplines and we had to read them out and memorize them.
Yeah.
And they were literally ingrained. I'm surprised I don't have them tattooed on me, but I
can still
live
fix
by
that.
I live by them. I live by needles. Total responsibility for your results. That's the very first one. It always resonated with me. But those things were like ingrained in me, and a lot of my buddies are still in this business. Old school. We grew up that way. It was a little different. It was boot camp. And I tell anybody getting into this business, you better treat it like boot camp in the beginning.
Yeah.
Dive into it, really embrace it. Don't just think you're going to wing it. All right. If you come from any other sales background and you're getting an in-home sales or first call close sales, you better put your heart and soul into that.
Yeah.
Learn everything you can about it.
Yeah.
Because if you just think you're going to swing in there and sell because you're good, I've watched too many sales pros and executives coming in. I mean, just touting, oh, I'm good. I'm a sales executive. I used to sell this or that. They come in and they flop because they can't do in-home first call close sales. They don't understand this. It's different.
It's
You're
a
building a
different beast,
relationship within a 3-hour period.
Right.
You're not building that relationship for weeks or months or a couple of days. No, I got 3 hours and I got to close.
Yeah. So from what you know about me, what would you say is new school? Besides the technology, I get all that. Mindset, the attitude, the approach. Because I do carry a lot of that old school, like, fundamentals. I'm just trying to put to words what is new school. Because there's a lot of newbies out here going to say, hey, I like what Jesse's saying. A lot of newbies out here going to say, hey, I like what Lynch is saying. You know, but I don't know. What's your take from a old school perspective on maybe what's new school?
I want to say people have changed, but people are people. They don't change. It's inherent in them. I would say it goes back down to really the discipline, self-discipline, okay, self-awareness. It really does. I think a lot of the not for you in particular. I can't say for you. You're different. I don't know why you are. You're like this young old school person, but has all this new school stuff about them.
So what's that stuff?
Huh?
So what's that stuff?
Technology, different ways of thinking about it, different ways of going about it. The old adage, you can keep an old dog new tricks. You can. I learn in this game all the time. I'm adding to my repertoire on a regular basis.
Yeah.
I'll hear something to somebody say, some great verbiage or a different way to go about, closing or presenting something. I'm like, that's awesome. I'm taking that. I'm putting that cap in my feather because there's always something. This is an ever evolving sale. It always involves. There's always more to learn and craft and get it. And that's what I love about it. The psychology of it. It's just, it's so cool.
I think this is just coming to me now. I hadn't thought about this before we came up with the subject for the conversation, but there's good old school, there's bad old school.
Oh gosh, yeah.
And there's good new school and bad new school. So when I asked you what's new school, you started leaning into kind of a lack of discipline, a lack of, so that's bad new school. There is a lot of attitude out there about, these leads stink. And it's like, man, you don't even know what the generation before us had to do. You've told me those stories. Like, what is that attitude? Like, every lead is a possibility, man. Like, if you're messing that up, that's on you. If you're not getting the sale, it's on you. That attitude. That closer's old school attitude, like it's the total responsibility.
Total.
That's drifting away in the wind.
That's why
Except
this
for a
is
select
why
few.
we started this.
Right.
Because tired of hearing all the bullshit, all right? All the BS, all the bitching and complaining. Done with it.
But on the same bro, I've got veterans at my organization, for instance, not throwing anyone specific under the bus, but I've heard from people on ride-alongs with them that they're so old school that they're ineffective in a lot of ways on certain things. They're not paying attention. They're so like in a system that they're not connecting with people. I think maybe that's what the new school has brought about is it's more than just a process in the system, but the actual
You have to
connection,
evolve with it.
evolution, being open, going with the flow, all that kind of stuff. I think is probably the new school of how do you take the system and creatively sell. That creative selling changed my whole perception and perspective. Like when I was so new to this, I was like, okay, I gotta learn this process, and then I watched a YouTube video on creative selling. I was like, oh, now I get why guys.
So that would be new school. So creative selling wasn't done before. We were really taught like robots more.
Yeah,
We
exactly.
put a little bit of ourself in there. Now it's less of that, more of a, some company, depending on the company, it should be more of an outline, and then you really put most of yourself into it and really make it your own and really get creative
have the
with it.
discernment and the judgment.
And
in a
you
lot of
have
ways,
to-
it's empowering
Yes.
because you're being given more responsibility. That's the crazy part. People aren't taking responsibility, but you're actually, because it's creative, you're being given more responsibility to execute that sale. Because before there was a system and it worked. If you follow the system, it works. And now because of technology, people's ability to look at reviews and get information, you have to do a little bit more to close that deal.
Yeah, you do.
I think we're kind of getting to the heart of it now.
Well, I think there's in this new world, I think you have to have a little bit of old school and new school, even if you're young. You better go back and find out what they were doing, how they were doing it.
You get it.
So you can learn.
It has that changed my life, man. I mean, that's all I knew before I got into the creative selling. Because at first I was uncomfortable. I'm like, this is really uncomfortable. Creative selling, boom. Like, just numbers went skyrocketed.
Question-based selling, open-ended, closed-ended questions.
Yep.
I mean, I learned all of that stuff, and a lot of that stuff is not taught now. They teach you all these presentations, but they don't really go into depth of
Here's the product.
why
I
you're
teach
doing
Here's
it.
the installation stuff. But even to your point there, like, how many do half the listeners know why not to ask an open-ended question at the end? You know what I
Probably
mean?
not.
I bet half the people listening right now are like, what are they talking about? You know what I mean?
I'm going to write it down for open-ended, closed-ended, but we're going to give a little tip of it right now. So
That's an
Tell
old
'em.
school thing about when you get to the close. I mean, you're closing all throughout, and you're asking open-ended questions especially at the beginning, to learn about them, to pick up information and nuggets that you can then use later, not against them, but for them. I mean, so when they come and say, you're at the end, now your questions are, well, it's a close-end that it's a yes or no, and you already know the answer to. You should not be asking questions, and I'm not innocent on this at all, but you should not ask questions you don't know the answer to in the close, because you're opening it up for them to take back the power. If you know the answer, because they told you earlier, our budget's $10,000, and at the end you say, well, isn't this under $10,000? That was your budget. They have no other choice but to say what they already said. That's the close-ended question thing. And that's old school. So, I think old school is great. I think new school, that creative selling piece is...
Well, and open-ended, closing questions, not just, it's in new school now, okay? It's just not taught as much. And I'm going to give the listeners an example real quick so you can understand what we mean by it. So if I were to ask an open-ended question, it would be, where do you want to go to lunch today? All right, and that could be a gazillion answers. Closed-ended, real simple. Do you want to go have Italian, Chinese, or French? All right, you have to pick one of them.
Yep.
Now, do you want to go have Burger King or McDonald's? You got to pick one of them. You want to go to Subway or Quiznos? You got to pick one. All right, I'm giving you option A, option B. That's it.
Yep.
You're picking one or the other, or you may something different. But I know I'm going to get a certain amount of responses. So again, if you're treating this like a chess game and you're treating this like positioning yourself, all right, you're going to put in a closed-ended question to craft that question to get the answer that you would like to get, because most of the times it's smoke screens. And again, if you learned your craft, those old school cats out there, not all of them, because there's some, like you said, some old school people are just set in their ways. They haven't evolved. They haven't grown.
Yeah.
All right. They're still pitching like they were back in 2000. All right. It's a 2021. It's a different pitch. It's a different game. It's done completely differently.
You're right.
Everything that we do.
I would say old school treats it like a craft. Even if you're a young guy, new school guy, you treat it like a craft. I think the new school, on the negative side of things, they treat it like a job.
Yeah. This is a craft. It's an art.
Yep.
It is. This is an art. All right, there is an
They
art
see
to
on
this.
Indeed 100+ K opportunity, and they're applying.
Yep.
Because they want a job that makes money. They're not treating it like,
I want 6 figures.
right? Well, guess what? You got to earn 6 figures. You
Got clothes, baby.
got to close.
But see, that's why I love this business, because if I don't sell today, I got opportunities tomorrow. I can go close again tomorrow. That's the beauty of, you've been in this business, you know, you go like 3 days without selling. It's like, you're like, what happened? Where am I? Can I even sell? But that 4th day, you go out, you bang out 2 of them for, you know, 30,000 each, and you just made $6,000 if you're making 10%. Who knows? It's up or down depending on the company.
You know,
But
something else that just came to me as new school is expectations. On the positive side, a solid closer. I think new school, the sky's the freaking limit on what they can sell in a month. Do you agree? Because I've joined 2 companies now, and the standards when I arrived.
you're asking a competitive person, I'll crush you, new school kids. Just saying.
Well, that's what. I'm just saying, man. Like, there are attitudes out there, and I've noticed from a lot of old school guys, like, oh, I got to that 100K mark, or I got to 150. That's good. Isn't that great? If I could just keep getting to that.
Wrong company.
Wrong people, man.
Wrong people. I agree with
That's
that.
what I'm saying,
better.
wrong mindset.
People. Wrong mindset.
But I
yeah.
think on the negative side, that's kind of an old school mindset of getting into that rhythm of.
But I'm going to say wrong company too. And the reason why I say that is the right companies raise the expectations, right? And enforce. And enforce sounds like a bad word, but makes the rep strive for the challenge more. I was with a company years ago, bath company, was very small. They're extremely large now, and I'll never forget they raised the closing rates. We were like 27. They went to 30. We're like, crazy, 30%? And then they went to 33. We're like, what? And we went to 35 after that. And we're like, huh? Every year they're jumping it up, right?
Yep.
Guess what happened every year we jumped it up?
The goals.
Rise to the occasion.
Yep.
Everybody
Yep.
rose to the occasion, right? Because you put that goal in front of us, it's like, you can't hit that. Watch me.
Right.
Watch me go hit that goal. Because I think that's the attitude, I think, also between old school and new school is, and I've talked to a lot of reps that are older than me. I'm still young, even though I've been in this game for a while, and their mindset is just like not there. And even though they're older than me, they have new school mindset. So I want to say old school, new school is not just on product and everything, but it has to do with, like you said, mindset as well. Even though he's older, his mindset sucks.
Yeah.
You know, he has this whole way of, you know, thinking about whether it's a lead or this, that, or the other.
How they and then, you know, this is where the old and new is thrown into a bucket of soup or a whatever you cook soup in.
Bucket of soup. Bad words, bro.
I was raised
Bad
in
words.
it.
All right, tell me more about your soup.
But I think that's where you throw it together, mix it up, and that's the closer's mindset, right? Like that's
The yin and the
a
yang,
closer
right?
doesn't have to be young or old. Their approach might be new or old, but old school, new school. But I'm thinking,
And that's another thing. You don't have to be in this business for 6 months or a year to be good at it. That's a bunch of bullshit. It really is.
absolutely not.
You've proved it, and
Yep.
I've watched rep time and time again come in and crush it. Now, don't get me wrong. I've seen a lot of reps not crush it. Most don't in the beginning, but it's because of their own mindset, because they have fear and they don't think they can do it.
Right.
Every time I walked into a house when I started with the company, I'll never forget. The first time I came, I was so excited. I could not sell. I was bouncing off the walls excited. I was excited to go there. I was excited to show them the product. I was excited. They were so excited they could not buy.
Right.
Because and it was just that excitement. And I just walked in there with it, and it was that passion.
Yeah.
You know, delivering that passion. It's like, you know, having someone that gives a really good, meaningful speech. You know, I always call it like the Denzel speech, right? You know, is that meaningful? You're just like, wow, that's powerful.
Yeah.
And if you ever watch any motivational videos, right? Powerful. Some of them just like, wow, that's powerful. The same thing should be in your presentation. It should be powerful.
Yeah.
And,
You know, another thing I'll point out, and this is not necessarily old or new, but just closer's mindset versus not. These things are so subtle. When you talk to people, they're telling you about their leads. You know what I mean? It's subtle. It's not as black and white as we're trying to make it here. We're trying to make it black and white so you can recognize it.
yes.
But it's subtle when you're talking to people casually. But I think what I notice is the difference between like that passion thing. That's what I bring to the table, man. I don't have to know everything about the product. I want to, so I'm not an idiot. I don't have to.
No, you don't.
And I'm going to keep learning as much as I can, but I don't have to reach a certain pinnacle. And so like when I talk to, like, you know, I walk out of a guy's shadowing me, and I'm walking out, and he goes, well, here's a difference of blah, blah, blah. When I think I would have done this, this, and this. And I'm like, bro, you're shadowing me.
love when they do that. They're trying to tell you what to
Do you know what I mean? Like, what? It's not about how much you know. It's not about what you know. It's not about what you know, think you know about the product. It's that subtle difference. Like a guy bitching about, he said, our install dates are out too long. That's why I lost this sale. They had the pen to paper, and when I told them the date, they pulled back. Bro, that's on you. Like, what is going on? So I think that like me first mindset, I think that's what I try to bring to the table is you first, customer.
So that's funny you say that. I watched a rep, not today, yesterday. Sure, the day before. It was the day before. And the rep was saying, I. So I want to do this for you. I want to do that for you. I've had the same, I've done the same thing. So a lot of the stuff that I always talk about and teach and train and say, hey, you shouldn't do this or you should do it. It's not because I'm trying to be the dick about it. I'm trying to tell you because I've done it.
Yeah.
I've been there. I remember my boss going to a pitch with me and I said, 50 times. He counted it. 50 times I said, I want to do this. Here's what I'm going to do for you today. They said, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. Well, me says, folks, here's what we're going to do for you today.
Yeah.
And your home, the best way for you. Because this project is all about you and how you would like to build it on whatever terms you would like.
Yep.
Thank you for having us out today. We really appreciate it. And then go into there and really thanking them to allowing you to come in the home, thanking them for inviting you into the home.
Thank you for the opportunity every time.
And you're going to find with the old school, at least when I've seen, they're much more polished. They put a lot more time and energy into it than I've seen from the newer school salespeople.
They wing it. And I think a new school negative mindset is treating it like the appointments are when you're going to work, not the day is your work.
Yeah.
Right? Like when I get up at 6 o'clock every day, whether I have an appointment at 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock, noon, doesn't matter. I'm up. Just that alone gets me in the mindset like, okay. And I'm not just like, okay, I don't have an appointment till 10. I'm going to watch TV or whatever, Netflix. Like, bro, it's a craft. You do it.
If I didn't sell that day, when I went home, I'll find it out. Especially depends on how I didn't sell it. Now, I've already replayed it driving home. I may have grabbed my steering wheel a little hard, okay? Gripped it a little hard, trying to figure out what the heck happened. How did I not, what did I miss? And see, I think that's the difference because when I would drive home from an appointment, it's what did I miss? Not, that customer was going to buy because of this or that. I'm not calling you up going, hey, yeah, man, I couldn't get it. I tried. And no, I would call up other reps. I call them, hey, I did this. I did this. They didn't go. I don't know what I did. And they'd say, okay, what did you say here? What did you say there? Yeah. I said this. What did they say? Oh, you should have, dude. Okay, when you heard that, you should have did this. Yeah. And
it doesn't exist. I mean,
it doesn't exist. No, because you know what reps do now? They call them bitch about leads. Yep. We'll get the next one. Don't worry about it. Or they spend 5 or 10 minutes because they get thrown off by a customer. That's that dumb new school shit.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, they just try to go after the easy stuff. Yeah. They go after low hanging fruit. They don't have no challenge. They have no balls about them.
Right.
Hot and bothered about it. I do, man. I do. It drives me nuts, man. Just the complacency, bro.
Yep.
The complacency. Where's that take charge? Where's that? Let's go get it. All right. I want to go to that customer who's going to tell me, no, I'm not buying anything. Really? Great.
Yeah.
That's what I want to hear. Wonderful. Challenge accepted. I love games. This is a game. If you can treat this like a game and have fun with it, and you get paid. Think about it.
Yeah.
It's just a game is all it is.
My first manager, the old school guy, I remember it still sticks with me. He had a picture over his desk behind him. Mm-hmm. So when you walked in, he was sitting right there. It said, whip the horses, chain the dogs, feed the lions. And he would say, this is not a democracy. If you want leads, you got to be selling.
Yeah.
Because, even just that, people would complain, I'm not getting enough leads. Are you selling? Because if you sold, you would get leads.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not getting the good leads. Are you selling? What do you mean you're not getting the good leads?
So all leads are good and all leads are bad. Yeah. Okay? All leads. Every lead you get's bad. Every lead you get's good. It doesn't matter. It's just a name, address, phone number. Right. I don't care what they tell you. I don't care where they live, what their house. It doesn't matter.
But to your point,
you're putting your own perceptions on it. If you were in a showroom and that same person came to your facilities, okay, for whatever you sell, you wouldn't know what their house looks like or how much it's worth or anything there. But yet, since you went there, now you can know and make judgments one way or the other. And if you can keep an open mind in this biz,
Yep.
and then the other one with it, that I would say is a new school thing. And we did it in old school. We did push financing a lot, but new school is really, I mean,
Financing, yeah.
ooh, if you know finance and really do it, that's big.
Yep.
And that's big, and really talking to it with like credit cards and everything like that. Because that's, it's much more in depth now. Back in the day, it was easy. It was a little different. Now, I think that is a new school thing that really makes a big difference.
Yeah.
What about you? Anything else that you wouldn't say compare old school and new school? 'Cause I could talk forever about that.
I know,
About the mindset part of it. It would drive, good, bad, or indifferent.
Yeah. No, I just think that line piece, that's why I brought that up. It was just, the line attitude, man. Get hungry. That's neither
Hunters or
old or new
gatherers, right?
school. That's closer school. You know what I
It
mean?
is closer school. Hunters and gatherers,
Hunters,
baby.
yep.
We don't want gatherers. We want hunters.
Yep.
We want people that are hunting. We want people that are going to ask for the business with intention. That's what a closer is. Someone's going to ask for the business with intention and not just go in there and throw up all over the table.
That polished. This is a profession.
The polished professional.
Polished. Work at it. Gosh, if you freaking listen to this as a listener and this puts one more sale into your pocket, you're gonna make like for per week, you're probably putting in 30 more G's a year. You know what I mean?
Yeah, easily.
Like, this is free money, free advice for you. Just get it. Just practice one thing we've said. That's another thing. Don't overburden. I'd always tell guys, because I was new, but I was killing it even against the old guys in my first job, right? So the new people would follow me and this other guy that were both killing it. And they're like, what are you doing different? I'm like, dude, just stop thinking so much. If you're going to think about one thing only. One thing that like what was the thing you kept saying over and over and over? You know.
Yeah.
So don't go thinking about, okay, I got to work on the following the steps selling process, and I got to work on closing every door, and I got to work on the knows. One thing. Focus on that for that appointment. Watch it improve. And you'll probably get the sale because your mind's off everything else. And then for the next day, focus on one thing. That's been helpful for me. But anyway.
That's good. I'll give you one little secret before we end this
Yeah,
podcast.
please.
It's the last little sales secret tidbit I did in the very beginning when I first started. First started in this like green, made a cheat sheet. Like a little postcard, a little 3x5 index card, okay? Had everything I needed written down for my steps on it. I had it taped to the bottom of my clipboard, and I'd be able to flip it up and look at it if
One
I needed
step
to keep me back on schedule. Customer
Yep.
wouldn't know. I was just flipping a piece of paper. They don't
Yep.
know. And it would just help me keep if I got lost at all.
Yeah.
It was just that little bit of a guide that I need where
Yep.
I needed to go next with it. It was awesome.
Just write the little closing question. Each step has a closing question. There's a lot of closing questions throughout. Like step 2 at the needs assessment we talked about, like at the end, you'd always ask, hey, if I could save you some money, extra money, by moving forward sooner than later, would you be interested in learning more about that? Yes. Okay, perfect. That was a closing question on step 2 for that given system. But that's good stuff, man. I don't know. Old school news. I can't wait to like read feedback from people as they're listening to this.
I know.
Like, what are your thoughts?
One more
But
episode and it all goes out.
before we go, let's talk about a couple things coming up. We've got the Become a Better Closer.
Be a better closer.
Be a better closer.
Become a better closer.
It's going to be like a master class. We're only going to be accepting how many people?
100.
100 people?
That's it. It's a 2-day webinar. That's it. It's a 2-day course live with us. All right. We'll go over everything. We'll send home the audio versions or video versions of it. In addition to that, we'll have a lot of material going with it. And you got to sign up for it because, again, if we just that one more sale, it makes one more sale a month. It'll pay for it.
Yep.
So it's up to you. It's on you.
So what's it going to cost? Let's go through that. It's
Okay.
going to cost
$99.
$1,000.
No, $99.
$99.
$99.
Oh, we're talking, the more in-depth things coming as well. This is $99 for the webinar.
Yep. 2 days.
And
Live.
if you're advanced in this or new to this, what is $99, dude? You make a sale, you just got $1,000 in commission. So it's going to pay for itself because we're going to help you make more sales by becoming
So
a better
win-win.
closer.
We also have the closing club. You can sign up that. We'll send out texts and emails out. We won't flood you with that shit because it drives me nuts, but we'll send it out like
We're
once
going to have
or twice a
swag.
month.
You guys can't even see. We were wearing swag up in here.
That's coming soon.
That's coming soon.
TheSalesStoreandMore.com.
We're on
you
up
can
episode
check it out
9.
now.
Gosh, can you imagine? Like episode 10, episode 100, we're going to be...
We
There's a
go.
lot coming up the pike. And you know what? If this is helpful already, you feel like this is helping you make more sales, toss us a bone. Throw us a message.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Reach out. Let us know. If you want to get on the podcast, reach out. Let us know.
Gotta be a closer,
We
though.
will be having guests on.
Or else it'll be entering the lion's den if you're not a closer. Can you imagine some guests out here? Oh, my leads are bad.
It's going to be bad.
It's going to be bad.
It's going to be a rough day.
But I hope this was good for you.
And until next time,
Peace out.
out.